Mental fog is no joke. It drains your energy, it makes it harder to focus, and it stops you from moving forward in life. And with all the constant tech use and cognitive load, it's no wonder that so many of us feel overwhelmed. But the good news is that journaling is one of the most effective ways for you to clear that mental clutter. And today I'm going to share 3 simple journaling techniques that anyone can do so you can go from feeling scattered and foggy to clear and energized so you can remember more, focus better, and protect your mental health. If you're new here, hi, my name is Juma and I'm a journaling facilitator and educator, and I've been teaching journaling since 2019, and I'm currently studying at the Therapeutic Writing Institute to deepen this work. Now let me be honest, journaling can do a lot for your mental clarity, but it works best when it's combined with the fundamentals of health, and that includes sleep, movement, and nourishing diet, and healthy relationships. So before you learn these techniques, think of journaling as the amplifier for your mental clarity and not as the solution for all the problems. And with that in mind, let's get started. The first journaling technique is called clustering. You might know it as mind mapping in the business world, often used for brainstorming. But in journaling, it becomes a powerful way for you to clear mental fog because it literally helps you see your thoughts take shape on paper. And here is how it works. Start by writing the nucleus word or phrase in the middle of your page, something that's on your mind right now, let's say the name of a person. And then you draw lines out from the center and write down associations, thoughts, feelings, images, memories, and you keep branching out in all directions, letting one idea spark another until your page looks like a galaxy of connections. Interestingly, neuroscientists have noticed that the human brain, with its billions of neurons, looks strikingly similar to the structure of the universe. Both are vast networks of connections. So when you create a cluster, you're actually mirroring the natural patterns of expansion of how your mind works. And the magic of clustering is that what once felt like chaos in your head now becomes a map of your mind that you can work with, showing patterns, insights, and solutions that were once hidden in the mental noise. And here are 2 ways in which you can use clustering for mental clarity. The first one is as a brain dump. You can see it as an alternative to stream of consciousness writing. So you start with a central word like what's on my mind or today, and from there you branch out with every thought, task, or worry that pops up. If you want to learn more about clustering as a journaling technique, I invite you to watch my video on how to journal for mental health. Now, personally, the way that I like to do clustering as a brain dump is to think about the 4 dimensions of being, and they are mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, and see what's present in that day and how they might actually connect. Now, the second way for you to do a cluster for mental clarity is to use it for problem solving. So you choose one central problem, let's say a relationship conflict that you're having right now, and then you start clustering around it. So write out everything that comes to mind, feelings, fears, facts, even possible solutions, and by the end of a clustering session, what once felt blurry, it becomes surprisingly clear because you are literally seeing the contents of your mind on the page. The second journaling technique for mental clarity is called time capsules. Imagine that you could freeze a moment of your life, like taking a photo, but instead of a picture, you use words, and that's what a time capsule essentially is. You write down a summary of what's happening in your life right now, the people you hang out with, what's making you happy, what's bugging you, what you're excited about, and the result is a written record of your growth, your milestones, your challenges that one day you can revisit later, and you can even travel back in time to that exact moment. Now, time capsules can be daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly. For example, personally speaking, I like to do a time capsule at the end of the month that has passed. So I write the highlights, and it's actually very simple, usually about 5 bullet points or 2 or 3 paragraphs depending on my inspiration of that day. And then by the end of the year, I actually have a snapshot of how the year unfolded. If you want an example of a time capsule, you can pause the video and take a screenshot. What I love about time capsules is that it clears the mental fog that comes from being stuck in the now, because it helps you to zoom out and see the bigger picture. It gives you perspective, showing how your life is evolving over time and reminding you that today's stress and confusion is just one chapter, not the entire book. Steve Jobs famously said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." And time capsules help you to do just that, to look at your day, your week, your year, and see and connect those dots more clearly so you can cut through the noise and create a coherent life story. This is one out of 18 journaling techniques that we explore in the Journal to the Self course. I'll leave the link below in case you feel called to explore. The third journaling technique is lists, and you might already be familiar with lists for time management or memory keeping, like a to-do list or groceries list. But journaling lists, they are different. They're not necessarily about productivity, they are about mental clarity. Journal lists are great for clarifying your thoughts, focusing on what's truly important, spotting patterns that otherwise you might not notice, getting past the surface of what's on your mind, and brainstorm solutions to when you feel stuck. Now, there are 3 lists that I like to do for mental clarity. The first one is as a brain dump, because you can actually do a brain dump in many ways. And one of the ways is by writing a list. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can make a list of everything that's on your mind. Essentially, you are transferring your thoughts from your mind to the pen onto the paper, so then you can start breaking those mental loops. The second way is when you need to make a decision. For example, you can start with the very famous pros and cons list, but on top of that, you can also do hopes and fears for each decision. The third one is to release anxiety, and maybe you have seen it on social media. It is to make a list of what you can control and what you cannot control, because understanding what's under your sphere of influence is one of the most empowering things you can do. So if you're feeling powerless, write down this list so you understand where to direct your energy and then let go of the rest. The beauty of lists is that they cut through mental clutter fast, because they give your brain a structure. So instead of spinning in circles, you actually see your thoughts lined up in front of you, so you can look at them and make decisions accordingly. And what is the common thread of these 3 journaling techniques is that they are visually simple, because that helps to reduce the cognitive load and start organizing your thoughts on paper. And that's really the key of journaling, is that you keep it simple and not overwhelming. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to stick to the practice. So if you ever feel intimidated by what you see online, the fancy spreads, the perfect handwriting, the endless colors and fonts, let it go. That's not what journaling is about. Journaling is not an art project for someone else to see. Journaling is a practice of self-connection, of self-intimacy, is intimacy. And often the most powerful form is the simplest. So remember to keep it simple, be real, and keep writing. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in our next video.